A few weeks ago I went to LEGO's headquarters in Billund, Denmark to attend Fan Media Days, where I got to see lots of exclusive stuff, including the LEGO Ideas Botanical Garden. There was a presentation done by the designer, and this is how it went.
I'm Chris. I'm a senior model designer with LEGO Ideas. This model has 3,792 parts, 12 minifigures, 4 birds, a dog, a frog, a bunny, and a squirrel. It is 2 base plates wide, 64 bricks wide, and it contains over 35 brick-built species of plants. This is LEGO Ideas, the Botanical Garden. This model has 3 atriums. So we have our middle atrium, where you have a lot of the various different plant species. Over here, we have a arid area where you find cacti, and over here, we have a little cafe. It has 3 removable roofs, so you can take off this roof, you can take off this roof, and you can take off this roof. But not only that, in order to make sure that people could get in to the model and see what the minifigs are doing, position minifigures, it also has 2 removable walls. So this wall comes off, and you can see the barista area, and this wall comes off at the back to allow you to access the area where the cactuses are. It also has removable plants so that you can actually further get into the model. So here we have a date palm, and here we have a eucalyptus. One of the things that I wanted to talk about right now is the new elements that we put into this model. We were very fortunate that we could do 4 new elements for the model. So one of the first ones I will show you is something that you see in the corners here. This is a 5x5 wall element with a spine. This particular element defined the aesthetic of the model. It made it a beautiful Victorian botanical garden. You'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, 12. We'll get 12 of them. In order to make the roof structure work, we also needed another element for the roof. This is a 1x5 instead of a 1x6. This element allows us to resolve the corners so that we could actually do this without having any collision or having any need for overlap. Now, the next element I'm going to talk about, you probably already seen. It leapfrogged us to announcement with Wicked and with our own The Magic of Disney.
And Animal Crossing.
And Animal Crossing. But for this model, we developed a flower element that we are internally calling the peony. It is available in this model in 5 different colors. You're going to get a lot of them. They're all over the front gardens. You can see that we have them here for hydrangeas. We have them here in red for peonies. There's a lot of them. I haven't counted it up, but you'll get a lot of them. And finally, we created a tulip or bud type flower element, which you can see over here and over here in this plant, which I guess is a little bit hidden for you. There are 12 minifigures, there are a lot of animals, and one thing that we really wanted to do with the minifigures itself is kind of pair them up so that they all had kind of individual stories. One of the funniest stories that we have, I guess, is we have a child that's gone to the Botanical Gardens with his mother, and he has picked a flower, and she's a little bit aghast because you probably shouldn't be picking the flowers at the Botanical Garden. We also have an older couple who are there with a dog. We have a grandfather there with his granddaughter, and she's taken an audio tour inside the Botanical Gardens, and you will find that behind the entrance counter there are additional headphones that are hanging on the wall. We have a visually impaired character here who is accompanied by this fellow with the camera, and they are also touring the garden, and we wanted to do something special for this character, so we made a head that is specifically to represent a visually impaired character. We also have 2 caretakers right here, and we have the barista, and finally the manager of the Botanical Gardens, is the fan designer, Valentina Bima. So we have made her a minifigure, and you will find lots of other little fun details in the set itself. I think that's probably it.
The original submission was part of the modular, and at least I can't see that it is, right?
That's correct. One of the first things that we aligned on is that we wanted the gardens to feel like a classic botanical gardens, that there were actually a lot of exterior gardens to it. The sidewalk, for example, takes 5 to 6 bricks. It's quite deep. And we just wanted to really populate that with plants. So that was one of the first things we decided, that we needed to give the gardens some room to grow, essentially.
Compared to the fan design, you've added a lot of colour and everything to the front of the model. Could you talk about how you thought about balancing the colours out and introducing all of that?
Yeah, definitely. As Botanical Gardens, we wanted to bring in as much color as possible. We wanted it to really feel vibrant, both inside and out. And again, that was part of the motivation to get a lot of color out front and to have these beautiful rows of flowers right at the front of the model.
And in terms of the green that you've added as a colour alongside the white, was that something you got from reference, or was that just a personal taste?
The sand green? The sand green was a long discussion. We tried many other colors. In the end, what we decided was that the sand green really helped color code this as a botanical gardens, and the other ones didn't feel as they were as organic.
Tiago?
Could you put it back together and show us the back of the model, please?
Sure.
How did you decide on the plant species? I mean, that's a very
We had,
large number.
how many boosts did we have? I think
We had a couple of boosts.
where we
Some
got
of
the whole
those.
team together. We're just like, here's a bunch of inspiration images, build plants, see what you can make, and then Chris, you took it from there.
Yeah, so I took a lot of inspiration from the boost. One of the key things that came out of the boost was the eucalyptus plant. So this was modified slightly and put in. A lot of the other plant builds served as inspiration for other things in the model. But as things go, one of the most interesting things for us was, what does this element look like, and can this represent that plant? So sometimes we'd say, oh, we have to make a date palm. So then you figure out how to make a date palm. But in other cases, particularly over here, where we have combined the ice cream swirl with the peony. This is an ice cream tulip. It's an actual type of tulip. And so it was just a matter of putting the elements together and oh, this looks like that. So we're going to definitely put that in the model.
In the instructions are all the plants identifiable? So have you called them all out so people can?
They are not called out specifically in the instructions.
We have some called out.
There are some, but there is a full list.
There is. Okay.
There is a full list, yes.
Thank you, Chris.
I cannot wait to show you all my detailed review of these LEGO sets, so be on the lookout for that and subscribe so you don't miss it.